I really appreciate that on multiple platforms. Now, this week is going to be a little bit interesting, I think, because it's not really about technology. It's about some of the discussions I've had over a number of months when I speak about artificial intelligence, its progress, and how excited I am at seeing all this automation and moving forward with gusto, with lots of new computing power and freeing ourselves from work, having a lot of automated systems running things, becoming more intelligent, and so on and so forth. A lot of people are afraid about the SkyNet type situation where you may have a belligerent AI that has learned that humanity is dangerous and decides to destroy us all to save us from ourselves, and kind of scenario. Now, I've spoken in other videos about this kind of scenario, but now I just want to focus on the possibilities of this and how it can actually work out, hopefully in a good way, because the simple answer of whether or not it's kind of type situation can happen is that yes, it can. Is highly unlikely because I mean, this is not Hollywood. There's not only one company that does certain things on the internet, on the cloud, and can release an AI that could learn some bad manners, for example. There's also a whole bunch of other entities and governments and corporations that are also developing things that would be counters along the way. So there would be a battle of AIs before there would be like a full serious issue, in my view. But still, it is possible because of the nature of deep learning AI. So when we develop our actual artificial intelligence and you allow it to learn to adapt to different situations instead of human beings, they become like us. They develop a kind of algorithmic learning and a way to perceive the world that is their own, and they actually learn independently from their owners to a certain extent, to the ones that programmed it. So you can have AI essentially that develop bad behaviors because they've learned some bad manners, and part of the responsibility is in the programming and the algorithms themselves, because we can orient AI to do a certain task in a certain way. But the point is, the technology itself is, as always, neutral. And it's really the way the reasons why we deploy them and we develop them that we need to keep an eye on. We can certainly, like SkyNet, if you remember correctly, it was a military artificial intelligence that was supposed to react to threats way faster than a human could, and analyze situations really quickly, and it could be given full control of the military and the computers to just react way faster than anybody else could, and could do a lot of this. And of course, in that particular scenario, the AI was kind of magically figured out, even though it should not have these algorithms, it figured out, well, I want to blow up all the humans because they're crazy. It would normally never have these kinds of algorithms. Just because it's an AI, it doesn't mean that it has a full understanding of what everything's going on. We have to actually code that in. So anyhow, an AI that's similar to the task of what SkyNet was supposed to do would not come to that conclusion. It would be analyzing threats. Maybe it could make a mistake, though, and decide, okay, I think Russia is deploying, or North Korea is deploying an ICBM with a nuclear warhead to the States, and fire something off prematurely where a human may not have done so. For example, things like that. They could be accidents. But in any case, I'm going a little bit beyond the discussion. The point is, if we're developing AI that learn, and we're putting guns in their hands, so to speak, then they may make the same mistakes as humans would, make interpretation mistakes, be too quick on the trigger. It could also learn bad behavior and even shoot friendlies, whatever. All this stuff, it could become dangerous. If we're developing AI that are for harmony, harvest, create happiness, remove ourselves from work we don't want to do, things like that. But that's positive. These could also develop bad behaviors, by the way, but they don't have weapons in their hands. And that's the big difference. So really, as always, what we want to do as human beings, as engineers, we want to drive the boat. We want to make sure that what technologies we develop are for the good of people, not for the harm of people. And we'll make mistakes. Some people will get hurt along the way because accidents happen. But if our intentions are good as engineers, then we'll be fine. So basically, what we want to do as responsible human beings that want to have a better world, we want to direct development and research towards good things. And we want to avoid the medieval attitude of actually having enemies out there somewhere, actually having problems and having to do preemptive strikes to protect our soil like 2 oceans away, things like that. That's just bad attitude. That engenders the same kind of attitude protectively and proactively from other nations. We have to stop the vicious cycle that we've been sustaining for thousands of years and go into a modern era where individuals like you and I and us, we're connected with people from all the countries, even the countries that we are actually declared by our leaders as enemy states. The people are not our enemies. They're our friends online. We chat with them in social media. We email them. We blog with them. We do businesses with them. We collaborate constantly. That's the reality of 2017. So we should be developing AI and robotics in that direction so that everybody can gain better information, better understanding, better living. And if we're free from stress and free from work a lot more, then we can have more energy to look at our leaders as like, you guys are acting like kings and queens from the 14th century. Let's change the tempo a little bit, and let's stop declaring other countries as our enemies, quote unquote, and let's consider what we're actually doing with these people through the cloud and through the internet, and consider them as economic allies that are different in culture. So that's the big message. That's what really we should be doing to avoid any kind of SkyNet-like or catastrophe. We need to remove the desire to create more weapons and create more offensive weapons. Defensive, I guess there's a certain reasoning for that until things kind of calm down and until things settle in a more peaceful manner all over. That's fine. But the development in AI. I mean, we're looking at AI being able to have emotions, being creative, more efficiently than creative directors. I am writing some information in the blog about this, and I have some links to kind of show this. AI is able to do some magnificent things already that are beautiful and really helpful. So let's keep that advancement. Let's keep the robotics going as well, because robotics can. There's in Dubai, China, Singapore, and other countries, they're deploying robotic police officers to be in the streets. But that's less risky for the human officers because police officers sometimes have it hard. And it's dangerous at times. While the robots can get damaged, no lives are harmed. So that's good, right? These are police officers, not military officers, right? And automated cars and all this stuff. Let's encourage all the technologies. As citizens, we have the power. Let's encourage the technologies and the deployments that we agree on to better our lives and others. And let's strongly disagree to any use of any AI or any robotics or any advanced technologies that could potentially be used as offensive weapons against ourselves and others. And that's the way we can create a really nice paradise. And for God's sake, people, we need to change the attitude of our politicians and foreign policies. We're not living in the 17th century or 14th century anymore. We're living as a global friendship web through social media and email and collaborations in business. We're not playing Risk anymore. So that's really important, or Access and Allies if you prefer. Change board games, whatever. And this is all stuff that we can do as individuals. We can keep our voices up. Let's not be complacent. when you spot something that's wrong, point it out and say it. And I think we'll have a better chance of avoiding any kind of catastrophic issues with AI and robotics and SkyNet-like situations. And we can develop for ourselves a virtual paradise on the planet Earth. And that's perfectly fine by me, and should be your goal as well. Anyway, that's going to be it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I'm always glad to have new subscribers. And please do comment and ask questions if you want in the comment section. You are very welcome to do so. Ciao.